Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Elyse DeLucci Show, episode 100. Can you believe that? 100 episodes of this podcast. I don't even know what to say. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for following me on this journey. Thank you for following me online and coming to my comedy shows. Just thank you for sharing my content. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe it. And I've had such a friggin' ridiculous day. Okay. I was up all night with my kid, my older daughter, vomiting, projectile vomiting all over me, all over my bed. I got the sheets downstairs. Oh my God. I'm all natural today because of it. I mean, let me see. I'm doing the video, the video podcast. I'm wearing makeup. I never not wear makeup. Just because I love makeup. But I don't have my eyebrows on. I don't have my eyeliner on. But it's really my hair that's all natural. Okay, I'm just doing all natural hair today. Anyway, here's a few hundred facts for 100 episode. There's 100 tiles in Scrabble. Did you know that? I did not. 100 years in a century. On the Celsius scale, 100 degrees is boiling water. There's 100 yards in a football field. And my favorite 100 fact is, if you had $100 billion, you could spend $3 million a day for the next 100 years. We don't have $100 billion. No, not 100 million. Nope, no, we got no millions over here. Anyway. No, the real fact of the day, and you're never going to look at avocados the same, because we talk about food here. That's just what we do. Even though, and let me just say this, okay? Somebody said to me, oh, Elyse, you're doing like a lot of food posts. You're doing food. I said, you know what? I don't give a shit what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing, you know what? I'm a stand-up comic. What do you want me to do? You want me to just like talk about things that are not like real to me? I'm a foodaholic. That's what I am. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, avocados, they were founded when they were when avocados, they were founded, when they were discovered, it was 500 BC by the Aztecs. And they named them this name, whatever. And the direct translation was testicles. That's right. Avocados means testicles. That's right. The texture, the shape, the size. By the way, the size, really? Who has balls that big? Please, somebody tell me who has balls. The avocados that I just got delivered from Costco, they're giant. I mean, listen, if I was with the man and I saw that he had avocados that big, you know what I'm saying? I'm running the other direction because I think that's like elephantitis shit right there. But in addition to... Are you never going to look at avocados the same? You never. But in addition to being the word avocado meaning testicle, is that they also were called alligator pears. And you could see that, the alligator skin and the way that they grew. They grew the same way on the tree as a pear. Or they grow this, or maybe like the same way as a man's balls. I just can't. I'm never looking at avocados the same. That's it. Oh my goodness. Remember those sneakers I told you about a few weeks ago or a few episodes, maybe 20 episodes ago, called On Clouds? All the fabulous geriatrics around Manhattan are wearing them. I got a pair. The logo on the sneaker, it looks like a Q and a C, but it's really like O and C, and it's called On Cloud. And they're just like they almost look like a running shoe. But they have a sole, and the sole has like these holes in it. And apparently they are like the softest, most sumptuous, light, airy shoe ever. And not that I'm, like an octogenarian stalker or something, but look, I got sensitive feet. What could I say? I love heels. I love shoes, but I love comfort. Okay. And living in Manhattan, it's like the great friggin' outdoors. You got to leave your house. You got to have comfortable shoes, umbrella, a mace spray. I need to have a bear spray. I need rain jacket. It's ridiculous. So I don't give a shit. So I was like, I'm going to get a pair of these sneakers, right? I've spent much more money on heels that I wear, twice a year, right? Such a stupid investment. Whoever was like, I'm going to have a giant collection of shoes and I'm going to collect. Oh, right. Yeah, your shoes, are they bringing you an ROI? Let's see what those Manolos look like in about 15 years time. They're going to be crusty. So anyway, $150 for On Clouds. My boyfriend took me and he actually got a pair too. And, I convinced him. I'm like, oh, baby, they're so cool. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, baby, you're old. I think you need to take care of your feet. But no, they have one flagship store in New York on Lafayette Street. And it's funny because there was a line out the store. a line out the door, around the block, but you couldn't see in the store. And I'm just like, oh, let's get online. And he's like, I bet this is part of their marketing scheme. That's typical Italian, right? Sees a line out the door instead of like, oh, they must be busy. Oh, they must be popular. He's looking already he's like they're probably, it's probably part of their scheming in there. Bunch of weasels running this company. I'm like, oh my God, babe, let's just get online. Who cares? But I have to be honest, once you get into the store, they move you, they let you in like a few people at a time. And then you sit on a bench with like 3 other people. And then you graduate to like another bench and then another bench. And then by the time you get in the store and you're like, wait a second, there's not like, this isn't a mob scene in here. But it was crowded. I got to say, he got his sneakers right away. Mine didn't come yet. We had to order mine because they were sold out. Well, I wanted the black sneaker with a black sole so I could wear them for stand up because I'm like, move around, blah, blah. But they were sold out in the store, sold out online, like none in the warehouse. So I got the black with the white sole. I got Cloud 5s is what they are. They're cool. They're not ties, like sneaker ties. They're like a bungee cord lace. They're super comfortable. Everybody has I just feel like the whole city is wearing them. Like not really, but you know what I'm saying. In rich neighborhoods, the whole older population seems to be wearing and Hokas. Hokas, those are the running shoes. But Hokas are hideous. Hokas, you look like Frankenstein, Pete. These are actually cute. Anyway, so we did that. And then after we got the On Clouds, I went to one of my favorite coffee shops that also has now, as if like they've had a menu for the last 10 years, but I was going to this place forever. It's called The Smile. It's on Bond Street. If you're ever in the NoHo area, north of Houston, there's all these restaurants and they're great, but they're pricey. But if you ever want to go and if you're doing shopping in that area and you want to get something like on a little side street, you want to do a coffee, maybe like a little sandwich or a salad, this place, The Smile, is great. It's actually right across the street from a place called The Furniture Joint. I used to take an upholstery class there because that's what every girl in Manhattan in her 20s does, is take a class to make ottomans. I mean, what can I say? I like to make things. But anyway, after we had lunch at The Smile, we got in the car and we headed uptown. No train that day. And I saw there was Banana Republic closing more locations on the Upper East Side. They closed another big giant store and they're putting Lululemon in there. Lululemon. That's a store that has no debt. That's a company that has no debt. When the last time I looked at those company financials, they had no debt. During the pandemic, I remember when I was doing a lot of trading because I was taking advantage of the bargain prices that were falling on the stock market. I made some good, smart investments. Some I took out the money and I should have just left. But let me look. At the time, I remember seeing Lululemon stock. I think it was like $293 or $300. This was like maybe in June 2020. Okay, so that's right. So then now the stock is trading at $364. But they at the time, I think I remember reading that they have absolutely no debt. Anyway, debt. Anyway, good stock. But that's high, right? I don't know. I didn't do the math. Okay, anyway, moving on. Moving right along. Last week, I talked about Easter eggs and all this stuff. And, and then that week was Greek Easter. This past weekend was Greek Easter. And you know what I just found out about Greek Easter? On the egg note, they don't dye the Greeks. And the Greek Orthodox, and I don't know if the Russians do it too, but the Russian Orthodox, but they don't dye the eggs multicolors. They dye the eggs red to symbolize the blood and sacrifice. And that's what they do. And the first red egg that they dye, they save for an entire year. Why? Okay. But that egg symbolizes Mary's egg. Mary's egg. A little gross, right? Well, yeah, a little gross. You know what else is a little gross that I was thinking about the other day? I mean, this is going to sound terrible because, I'm Catholic, but I should go to church, but okay, we're not going to go. If you ask my mother, you're not going to church. Okay, Ma, relax. Everybody walks around with the cross, like the cross, the crucifix. And it's like we're walking around with the man, nailed to the cross. I mean, I'm not saying that, of course, we know why, but it's a little like gory if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take the religion, you take the emotion, you take the tradition, and all that. If you take that all out of the way, it's a little weird. It's like walking around with I don't know, like an axe and somebody on the floor, like with an axe in their neck, around your neck. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay. Moving right along. I live obviously in the apartment building and I don't have laundry here. I have it in my basement. I could have laundry in my unit, and I am going to put it in eventually. But right now, because I'm a hoarder, I'm a nice hoarder. I'm not a bad hoarder. I should go on that show and show off my stuff. I would go on it just to show you people all my like a little kid. Okay, so these are my Ferragamo flats collection, and no one's getting rid of them. All the ladies. I like doing my laundry though in the basement because all the old ladies that are down there doing their laundry, I like to see how they do their laundry. Nobody walks down into the basement with a laundry sack on their back that they got free from the laundry bags you get free from the laundromat. Like they write your name and your apartment number on them. Like if you don't live in the city and you live in a house with machines, this is what we do. People usually take their laundry out and they give you these bags, laundry bags. And I have them because my dry cleaner gives them out just for, advertising purposes. And nobody brings those bags, those sacks down to the basement. No, everybody on the Upper East Side, they do their laundry. Very nice, very pristine. They have a special collapsible laundry thing, little, to put their whites and their darks. And they have a little basket that they put their little, their little bottles of detergent. And, I go down there and I look around. Well, I have been noticing a certain type of detergent that these ladies have been using, and it's called the Laundress. The Laundress New York. I don't know. Have you heard of this detergent? And it's not always the ladies themselves, the old ladies in my building. I live in a building with lots of old people. It's not always the ladies. It's like their staff that's doing the laundry, like their maids and stuff. It's very fancy around here, and I'm with the sack on the back. I do my laundry. But anyway, of course I do. You're like, is she really saying that she does her own laundry? Like as if we should give her a round of applause. I'm saying that because in New York, a lot of people have other people doing it. Okay. So I'm checking it out. The Laundress, right? No idea what this is. So I go on a recon mission. I head down to a hardware store in my neighborhood. And it's not like a Home Depot hardware store. It's like a hardware boutique. It's like they sell hammers and they also sell like lavender, like satchels for your underwear drawer. You know what I'm saying? And I knew they were going to have this fancy detergent there, the Laundress. And it's the bottle, and they did. And the bottle, it looks like a shampoo bottle. It's a long, thin bottle. It's a clear bottle with a black cap. And it has a white label on it, very, like block, like elegant font. And it says the Laundress New York signature scent. And it was like $30. It's like you get like 60 washes or something. I think it's 30 ounces. Would that be right? 30 ounces. It's like the Tresemme shampoo bottle. That's like the style. Anyway, I didn't buy it there, but I came home and I treated myself to it because I just felt like, why the hell not? If COVID taught us anything, it's teaching us that you better live in the now. You know what I'm saying? So why should I have fancy laundry? Not for everything. So let me explain. I go on Amazon and it was, of course, like $5 cheaper on Amazon. So add to cart. I did. And I started reading the reviews and all these women were like, I love it. It's amazing. This detergent changed my life. The scent, it's so elegant. It's gorgeous. It makes me feel like I'm in heaven. And I'm like, oh my God, sign me up for that, And then there was some other women and people that were writing saying that they only use it to launder their bed linens, How snobby, by the way, is that I just said the word bed linens? Like, is that not that I'm living on the Upper East Side? I launder my bed linen. Okay. They use it to wash their sheets. Okay. So they only use this to wash their sheets. And I thought that's a brilliant idea. I'm going to get it. So I bought it and it arrived just in time for the throw up that happened last night. Great. So right now, as we speak, I'm off of work today because I had no sleep last night with the projectile vomiting. And I have all the sheets being done downstairs. Sheets, mattress covers, duvet, the whole thing. And I'm washing them in regular detergent, like my Kirkland, my Tide, whatever the hell I normally use. And then I'm doing a second wash with the Laundress. Because if I haven't mentioned, my daughter, she threw up in my bed. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I told you a while ago that I upgraded my mattress to a Tempur-Pedic split king adjustable bed because we spend like a third of our life sleeping. And I don't know, I just want to luxuriate sometimes. I've never experienced such luxury than when I was in the hospital with an adjustable bed. I swear to God. People are like, are you just kidding when you say this, Elyse? I'm like, no. Have you ever laid it? for Christ's sake, I was in the hospital bed with the remote control and I was able to push a button, call somebody. They brought me a snack. Okay. You go up, down. It was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. I was like, I must have one of these. I came home, I Googled it. It was like the first thing I did. It was like a giant purchase too. The Tempur-Pedic adjustable split king mattress. And I don't care that it's a split king. Who's ever on the other side of me, I don't want to sleep next to you. No, I do. I just like the split. I like the adjustable because you don't have to both have your mattress up or down at the same time. So that's my thing, right? So all the sheets being laundered with the laundress. I can't wait. I can't wait to get those heavenly scented sheets on my sumptuously comfortable bed. And I can't wait to just snuggle it up tonight in bed. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. I hope they live up to the Amazon review hype. The laundress, why the hell not? I didn't get my nails done this week. I spent $25 on freaking cookies at the supermarket. And right now, I'm on this terrible diet, which by the way, can we talk about the biscotti that I just made? Oh my God. So, I'm on the diet and every day I'm drinking the juice. I'm drinking green juice. I'm also making this other juice that's delicious. Carrots, pineapple, and a little bit of ginger. Scrumptious. But I have my coffee in the morning and I love biscotti. So my daughters wanted to bake the other night. So I said, okay, we could bake something and cookies, chocolate chip cookies. And I'm just like, no, because mommy will eat all of them. But I was like, let's do the biscotti. I'll make chocolate chip biscotti. And I usually like almonds or anisette or the cranberry, whatever. But I did chocolate chip and walnut. Oh my God. I swear. I've made them before. I mean, not a lot, but I've made them before. Heaven. I want to tell you how I made them because I have it right in front of me here. They came out so good. I don't know if I just had like a great day of baking or I found a secret ingredient, which I think maybe I did. So this is how I made them, right? In the KitchenAid mixer. Well, preheat 350. Walnut chocolate biscotti, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter teaspoon of salt, a pinch of cinnamon, 4 tablespoons of butter, 3 eggs beaten, and put those to the side. And then 6 ounces of chocolate chips, milk chocolate I use like half a bag, F 6 ounces. Who needs that? I needed more. And then a cup of walnuts and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I beat the sugar and the butter first in the mixer, put the other stuff in. And let me tell you something. Cinnamon, the addition of, I never put cinnamon in a chocolate chip cookie before. And I did it for some reason in the biscotti. It was like out in front of me. I was cleaning out my spice drawer. It was phenomenal. Like you need to try this. Put cinnamon in the biscuit. Just try. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, let me tell you. So this is what you do. I got the baking sheets, grease the baking sheets. When everything is mixed together, you just quarter out the dough. I didn't quarter out the dough, by the way. Like I just took a handful and I was like, okay, that looks like a quarter of the dough. I did it by hand. And then you make a log onto the baking sheet and the log should be like 2 inches high. I'm showing the count 2 inches high and then about 9 inches long. So you make 4 logs on your baking sheet. And you don't want to put them right next to each other, of course. And then you take that leftover tablespoon of the beaten egg, brush that on the top and the sides. And then you bake the 4 logs on the baking sheets, bake that in the oven, in the 350 oven, bake it for 25 minutes. And then when it comes out, let it cool for 10 minutes, cut them with a serrated knife. You got to use a serrated knife. If you use a regular knife, they might crumble. And you want to cut them on the diagonal, but who the hell needs to be that fancy? I don't give a shit how you cut the biscotti. Cut them. And then once they get into cookies, all those little cookies, rebake them for another 10 minutes. I actually rebaked mine for like another 25, but you got to keep checking them because I like them hard, not burned, hard. So you got to, obviously got to check. But oh my God, I don't know if it was that I did the beaten egg wash, not egg white. It was the yolk and the egg white. I don't know if that was the trick this time. I don't know if it was the cinnamon. They were delightful. I'm going to make them again. I'm going to make them again soon. And I think I'm going to make them chocolate with pistachios. I have a giant thing from Costco of shelled pistachios in my pantry. I'm going to make them again. The chocolate, by the way, the chocolate, not like chocolate chip. Those I don't really love dipping in the coffee so much. Of course, and of course, I told my mother that I made biscotti. And, no, I just want a diet. I'm just, oh my God, yes. Is that what you're eating? And then she's like, I don't even like chocolate. I like anisette. And it's the same thing as last week with the strufle with my grandma. It's like, can't we be nice around here? Anyway, it's delicious. And if you make them, you have to tell me. But I would love to know how you make them. If you make them. Business Insider did an article about me. I don't know if you guys happen to catch it. I just want to say thank you to them. It is what it was. It is like the nicest article. It basically was an article, not necessarily about my stand-up. It was, but it was about how I had like extreme corporate burnout, like job burnout. Like I had a nervous freaking breakdown. I had a mental health breakdown. And I really leaned into my stand-up, and that's how I became, the comic that I am today, whatever. And I am so flattered that they did this on me because, one, it's Business Insider, and that's great. It's great press, but more because there's so many girls. I'm so passionate about the issue of working, burning out, all these fugazi people saying women could do it all. You could do it all. And yeah, you can. We can do everything. Hello, we've given birth to another human being. But we can't do it like all. Like, and we take too much on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too, and then something winds up suffering. And, and you guys, for me, that was my marriage suffered. My mental health suffered, everything. And my job. I had a breakdown. I was working at a very large company. And by the way, I can't really talk about my last company for legal reasons, but I don't say anything terrible, so fine. But I worked for a very large company and I had a senior position and I just was devoted and I loved my job and I made them a ton of money and I loved everybody. And we went through changes and office moves and, other people leaving, people going. And I loved them. And I used to speak at events and I traveled all over the world. It was like great. I just loved it. I loved it before I had kids. I loved it while I had kids. But once I had the children, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. And so I was like, let me change my lifestyle. I was living on the Upper East Side. I had my first daughter. She was 3 months. The week I went back to work from maternity leave, I moved my family down to Battery Park to be closer to Wall Street. The week I went back to work on maternity leave, and I went back early, by the way. And I was working 12-hour days, 13-hour days, and I was making great money. I think I mentioned before, I was the breadwinner. I hate that term, but I was. And it was a lot. I was working all these hours. I had just given birth. I had a C-section. That's a major surgery. I was adjusting to becoming a new mother. I had lots of demands and goals and, whatever for work. I was trying to figure out how to be a mom at work. I wanted to breastfeed, but I didn't really have a place to breastfeed. So I stopped breastfeeding. It was really hard. My marriage was suffering because I was taking things out on my husband. And then I got pregnant with my next daughter, which we planned. I had my children are 17 months apart. And long story short, I had postpartum with my other daughter, and then it was just like all downhill from there. And I was in school, by the way, when all this was happening. I was in Harvard Business School with my first daughter. I was in Wharton with my second. For Wharton, I was there for managerial economics and leadership. My first daughter, I was at Harvard for digital strategy. And let me say, I was living there. I was living in the business dorms. I was 5 months pregnant, living in the dorm. Do you really? It was crazy. It was crazy. Not my whole pregnancy. It was very intense. Okay. And I had this breakdown, and, after I lost my job, I just took 18 months and I just cleared my head. I raised my kids. I leaned into stand-up. I love performing. I love live performance. I love talking to people. I love relating to people. I love to hear people relate to me. We're all works in progress, right? And there's so many women out there that are like, we could do it all and we can have babies and we could be an executive and we could do this and we could be this big and we could be a size 2 and we could eat healthy and my kids, they live off chia seeds. And it's like, oh, shut up. No, you don't. And we make fair. It's like, I can't fucking deal with those people. I am a work in progress. I'm going to die a work in progress. I am passionate about that. I'm passionate to let girls know, to communicating that message that it's okay to eat a sleeve of Oreos after Soul Cycle. It's okay to like have postpartum. It's okay, right? Like I'm just a real lady, right? I'm a real lady, and I was working in the business world, and I still work in the business world. And I was so honored that they did the article because it's the truth. And I can't say a lot about the company that I worked for, like I said, but it was a very difficult time in my life, and my life was shattered. I lost my marriage. I lost my job. It was terrible, and I rebuilt myself, and this is who I am today. So thank you, Business Insider, for that beautiful article. I wonder if my last company read it, and are they going to be like, we're suing her? And it's like, and it'll be like, go F yourself. Okay. Go F yourself. Because I said nothing nasty about you people. I said only like nice things, that I loved the job and blah, blah, blah. And if I gave that interview after a few drinks, maybe that would be a different story, but I didn't. So that's that. Anyway, thank you. And, like, look, we have so many women leaders in the world and like in this country and all this stuff, but don't let anybody make you think that it's easy. Like, I have a friend who's a CEO of a very big company, and her husband doesn't work. So all the work, the housework, the cleaning, the cooking, all laundry, he does all that. So she goes to work and makes the money, So there's always like these little details that some of these power women forget to leave out, right? You forget to leave out the details, girls. And then you go around influencing all these other girls, and then they, like me, go and try to do, and then they have a breakdown, and then we're like, what? How do you do it? Oh my God, I want to kill myself. And then you're like, no, I got a life to live. Anyway, thank you. TV talk. On the Fabulous Ladies in the Basement doing their laundry with laundress, I was, I know that's on advertising. We all know Elyse DeLucci has no advertisers on her podcast. I was inspired to watch a old movie older movie, a few years older, not 1960s older. Advanced Style. When I was working in digital media years ago, I worked for a company that had a bunch of websites. One of them was fashionista.com. I had a friend, Ari Seth Cohen, who started a blog at that time. He was like an industry friend, and he started a blog called Advanced Style. And basically what he did was he went around the city with his camera, and he took pictures of all the most fabulous women, 60 and over, all over the city, what they were wearing. He was like in love with older women. And I fell in love with the website. And then he came out with a coffee table book. And then in 2014, he made a documentary. You can watch on Amazon. It's called Advanced Style. I love old ladies. I love them. So when I was like doing the laundry and I'm seeing all these, kooky ladies do, whatever they use, I remembered about the doc and I watched it, and oh my God, it's so great. You got to watch it, especially if you are over 60, or if you have a mother that loves style, or, just whatever. She has style and panache. Put it on. It's a great thing. It's just great. They're really flamboyant women. One of them was like a big dancer up at the Apollo Theater. Another one's a hat designer. Another one owned a little boutique on the Upper West Side. And you just see how these women, how they dress, the concoctions of their outfits, and the crazy colored hair and the big giant statement jewelry. But they also talk about how they appreciate their life, and you never know when your last day is. And it's just such a good documentary. I got my grandmother actually the coffee table book years ago, and that was also a great gift. When I was younger, for like my confirmation, I don't know, volunteer. My mom had me volunteer in a old people's home, and I was like playing bingo and doing the nails. That was my job. And I just always loved old ladies. I love old fabulous ladies. I love them. I absolutely love them. So I was inspired by the women in my building to watch Advanced Style again. I think you should watch it. And also, by the way, one of the women in my building, she's wearing these adorable clogs the other day. And I said, oh my God, I love those clogs. They remind me of like British gardening shoes. And she said, they are. And I said, they are? And she said, yeah, I got them on Amazon. And I said, oh my God, it is so cute. And I'm on the hunt now. I'm on the hunt for the perfect pair. And I know you're listening to this. You're like, does all she do just shop? No, I don't just shop. I do lots of other things. I just happen to like gorgeous things. And if they don't work for me, I return them. I have friends that they don't return. They're like, oh, it was only $16. $16? What are you kidding me? That's a whole omelet at the diner. Return that shit. But if I can't return, I give it to my sister. My sisters, I should say. But the gardening shoes were amazing because I love rain boots, but they're so clunky. I never really put them on. And just to run a quick errand. And I don't really like the LL Bean duck boot, So they have these, they're like that British racing green, that hunter green. It's just like a clog. It looks like a Crocs without the hole, but they're cute. If you just have to like walk the dog or run an errand, I don't know. I loved. And on the British note, my TV talk is Downton Abbey. Have you watched? Because we talked about the Gilded Age. I watched the Gilded Age. That's the show about New York in the 1800s. Absolutely fabulous. And when I was with my family at Easter, my mother's like, if you like that, you should watch Downton Abbey. And I was like, I don't want to watch another show or I don't want to watch a show about stuffy Brits. I mean, we know how I feel about them, right? My daughter's sick, so I got to whisper because for all I know, she could be like sneaking up on me. No, but it's like, hey, did I want to hear about it? But you know what? I love it. 6 seasons. That's what sold me on the show. I was like, oh, I could binge watch a whole season and then I got 5 more to go. Sign me up. And it's great. It's a great show. It's about England I think it's set in 1912 or 1914. It's right after the Titanic crash, and it's about a lord and his family. And he's trying in his mansion, Downton Abbey. The lord has to pass the mansion off to an heir. He has 3 daughters. It's law that it can't go to a daughter. So he has to find somebody. And his male heir in the family had just died on the Titanic. And now he has this long lost young cousin. And he's going to pass the mansion and the fortune down to the cousin, this 3rd removed cousin. And the daughters are freaking out. And that's like the whole sort of setup. And I'm only on maybe the 5th episode, but so far I love it. It's haughty. It's nasty. It's fabulous. It's funny in like a dry British way, It's ridiculous. It's dramatic. Oh, this scandal. I'm liking it. Loving it so far. Loving it. So how are you doing? Is everything going well with you people? Is everything going well? I miss you. I haven't talked to you all week. I want to know what you're watching, by the way, if you have any interesting shows. There's a show that's coming back on that I absolutely love. It's totally out of my wheelhouse, but my boyfriend got me into it. It's on the History Channel and it's called Alone. And that's coming back on the History Channel in June. It's like Naked and Afraid, but they're not naked and they're not really afraid either. You know what I love about Alone? They get dropped in the wild, but like 5 items is that the people that wind up winning the competition are always the people, not only that are the ones that are the most resourceful, but they are the ones that have the best mindset. So I like that. But the show is Alone. Oh my God. I didn't even realize I have the biscotti right in front of me. If you're watching on YouTube, because, God forbid I go to another location without food. Look at this. This is that biscotti. I was just telling you about the recipe. Look at that. Delicious. Look at those chunks of chocolate, the walnuts. And if you're listening, I'm smelling it. Oh my God. I think we got to go because I think I need to have a snack break. Product of the week. I mean, we talked about products, but tea tree oil balm. I love tea tree oil. I use this Olbus oil. I think I told you about it in the past. But this tea tree balm oil, I read about it. Somebody said it heals like my daughter has terrible chapped lips and she has like a little eczema on her hands. Poor little thing when she gets out of the bath, my younger daughter. They said it healing. Chapped lips, skin irritation, sores, rashes, psoriasis. So I was like, all right, let me try this tea tree oil balm. I got it as always on Amazon. The brand is Chamel. I don't even know how to pronounce this crap. CHAMUEL. Chamel is the brand. It's like, I don't know, $20 or something. It's a little tin. It's amazing. I swear to God. So good. My lips chapped, put it on overnight. Amazing. My feet, my heels dry, and not like sandpaper dry, but dry enough to make me be talking about it. Put the tea tree oil balm on the bottom of my feet, put a little snuggle sock on, paraffin treatment overnight. And I'm telling you, I use so many different things. The next day, feet like butter, baby. And on my daughter's lip, same thing. On her little hands, it's not like it cured her little eczema, but it was so much less dry in the morning when I put this on her hands. Tea tree oil balm. Look at it. It has like 8,000 reviews. Everybody's like, buy 10 of them. And anytime I see these like tons of reviews, I'm like, oh God, are these people like just lunatics, like getting paid like $1 and then like 10,000 cans of tea tree oil balm and, and they're just singing the praises, but I got it and it's great. You got to try it. But yeah, I got to wrap this episode up. I'm off from work today. Did I say that already? But last night, oh God, my poor older daughter, she was just, I don't know, maybe it was the meatballs or something. I had frozen meatballs in my freezer and I defrosted them and gave them to them with the macaroni for dinner last night. And she projectile vomited everywhere. I mean, like literally chunks. All over. And my whole house is upside down right now. So I got to go tend. This is a mother's life. People are like, it's so funny. I think it was a Judy Gold. When I was talking to Judy Gold recently, you know her? Oh, hilarious. You got to love her. I was talking to her recently and I was talking about how busy like us mothers are. And it's just like so exhausting. And she was like, oh, I can't stand people that say I'm so tired and they have no kids. I'm like, I know. Don't you just want to like wring their neck? It's the word. Like, it's like, you come talk to me after you made 3 meals. You work in, a couple jobs. You got throw up all over every freaking bed in the house and sheets and the thing. And oh my God, it's exhausting. Anyway, quote of the day by Diane von Furstenberg, wife, I should say, I was going to say husband of, wife of Barry Diller. Barry Diller, he made Tiny Island on the West Side Highway on Manhattan. And Barry Diller, he owns IAC, Ticketmaster, blah, blah, blah. The two of them. There was the talk about billionaires, 100 billionaires. Anyway, Diane von Furstenberg, her quote, you're always with yourself, so you may as well enjoy the company. And that's what it's about, people. Elyse DeLucci Show, 100 episode, the 100th episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Tell your friends. Follow me on Instagram. I love to love you, baby. Let's hope that something happens with the stand-up career. Say a prayer for me. Light a candle. And if my mother's listening, maybe you wouldn't need to ask people to light a candle for you if you actually went to church. I hear you, Mom. I'm Elyse DeLucci. Thank you, as always, for listening. And I will talk to you next week. Ciao, baby.